Welcome to COZ-HACKZ. I'm Zero. Today's tutorial is literally about all the tools that you're really going to need to get your cosplay up and running. To my right, I have two cool little cases and this, a Dremel rotary tool. The Dremel rotary tool is really important because it has so many attachments. It allows you to cut, sand, grind, and literally shape in finite detail almost any piece of material you can get your hands on. I use my Dremel for mostly sanding and little engraving pieces. And they're fairly inexpensive, and you don't really have to go all out and buy really expensive ones to get the same amount of potential out of it. The second set I always buy is what we like to call a hobbyist file kit. Now, mine comes with a handle, but I rarely ever use it. Comes with a multiple set of file heads, ranging from the square, the round, the beveled nail file, as I like to call it, or a domed file because it has one side that's curved, one side flat. The flat file, which has two ends, both sides are opposite each other, so you can literally file one way and file the other and take the filings off. And then you have the triangle file, which is really great for all those little needlepoint works where you have to really just design something with a file. Now, you don't have to buy one with a case. You can buy them almost anywhere. They're great. Now, when it comes to working clays and other types of sculptable materials, you have sculpting tools. Now, you don't need regular sculpting tools. You don't need to go out and buy a whole bunch of crazy stuff. You can use forks, spoons, knives, even if it's a chef's knife. As long as it has a flat surface and can give you the contours you're really looking for. Really? You're really going to get what you're looking after. Now, here I have a set of metal tools for working clays. This is a contour brush to give like hairstyle, feel to your work. This is a round cutting piece. Yay! And this creates round striations across any work. You can use it to gouge, take out small little pieces, and you can even use the edge to shape a little bit by giving like small little eyebrow ridge in each direction. Pretty simple stuff. This is the scribe. The scribe is just basically a giant needle. Don't stick it in your eye. Just don't. Aww. You don't have medical coverage. Just saying. So with the scribe tool, it's pretty simple. You can use it to draw on anything and create any type of design that you really want just by messing around. Simple as that. These two pieces do the same thing as the round gouge, and this is more of a triangle. Create a clean surface area to work on. This does the same thing, but you can actually gouge out just a small angled piece. Really simple. This is probably the most important tool you'll ever get when it comes to a sculpting set. And this is your smoothing tool. It has a contoured edge so that you can hold it and flex it. It has a rounded edge to keep feathering so you can actually smooth out your work. And it has a flat edge, so if you're ever scraping across to flatten out work, you can literally just go across like that and flatten out any bevels. Now, all of your tools are going to be either wood or metal, or a mix thereof. This is a wider gouge, and it's used to take away larger pieces of work. So you need to cut out a chunk of work. There you go. Say, don't ever eat oil clay. It's probably bad for you. This is the garrote, or as we like to call it in every other world, a garrote. It is simply just a piece of metal cable between two rods that you hold just like this. It's flexible enough so you can cut a precision amount of work if need be. And because I'm not very good at the whole precision cutting thing with a garrote, my trusty minion is going to cut from here. You hurt yourself, so help me.
Ha!
Just cut a piece of clay. Even minions can't get it the first time around. Just don't feel bad. We're all learning here. Here, you want a hand? Oh God, my finger! Oh God. Alright, now that he's done being crazy, it creates a fine cut, and it cuts usually the amount you want. Now that he's partially decapitated. Now, another thing that you're really gonna need. No. Are gloves. Alright, and one of the major parts you're gonna need is gloves. Gloves are gonna protect your hands while you're working on oil clays, or while you're working with Rondo and any other chemical that you're gonna be in contact with. You're never gonna know how your skin or your body or your whole system is going to react when it comes to the chemicals you're going to be dealing with. Lots of them have a lot of vapors. Some of them come with a minion. So gloves are really important. Try to wear them as much as possible. And then we're on to the next set of tools. Sandpaper. You cannot buy enough of this. Anytime I do work for anything, from armor to just any other prop I come across, sandpaper and mini grits are going to be your friend. This is 220 grit sandpaper, and as you can tell here on this nice little bit, when you rub your hand across it, it feels kind of like a dry reptile skin. It's not very rough. It's not taking a whole lot off my hand, but you can see where some skin has been imparted. Just lick that. You'll be fine. This is 320 grit sandpaper. It feels much finer, and sandpaper comes in multiple grits, from like 30 grit, which will take your face off like a cheese grater, to even higher grits like 5,000 grit. Does it taste good?
Banana.
Okay, later. To 5,000 grit sandpapers, which are more of an emery cloth, and they just they take away slight amounts of material from your work, so you can get really controlled edges, bevels, and very fine design. Now, the one thing you're really going to want to invest in is this stuff. This is Gorilla Glue. And yes, this is free advertising, and I love it. It sets in 5 minutes. It's cured within 24 hours. And it usually has a really high tensile strength. And the tensile strength, or tensile as I like to call it, is based off of how much it takes to snap. Don't drink that. And Gorilla Glue is great for bonding. It's like dealing with a child.
But boy?
Yeah, that too.
Edible.
And dealing with epoxies this is a two-part epoxy. You press down, get even amounts, mix them, apply them, let them dry. So here are the basic tools for what you're going to be doing. And the very first thing I'm going to teach you is how to make a simple mold. Now, my minion, being a minion, doesn't understand that oil clay is for more than just making crazy animals. Now, oil clay comes in different firmnesses. You have firm, which is usually rock hard, and kneading it takes the strength of a titan. Now, if you're a guy, you probably have that. If you're a girl, you definitely have it. But the way to get oil clay working softer, faster, is to basically boil some water. It doesn't have to be boiling hot. Just put it in the microwave for like 2 minutes. Or knead it like I'm doing. And all you have to do is really just twist it like this. and get it worked. And what will happen is as you start working it, the heat from your hands and the twisting and working will soften it. You're going to need a little more strength than that. A little more. You might as well just eat it. I mean, it's going to be easier. When you pass it, then you might be able to use it.
Well, he's indestructible. It might work.
Shenanigans. So, the way to get a simple mold out of oil clay is just like this. You get a nice little cylinder going, and then you smash it down into a smaller cylinder. And you get on, and you just put a lot of weight, put your knuckles into it, flatten it down until you have about a nice flat semicircular thing. Don't worry about these little creases because depending on the size of what you're trying to actually make a mold out of, it's not going to hurt anything. Now, we're going to take this. Thank you, Gene Roddenberry and the Roddenberry family for creating such a great sci-fi show. Please don't sue me. And the simplest way to make any sort of simple mold is to take the positive, the thing you're trying to make a mold of, center it as much as you can, and then you know what, I'm actually going to try it this way since there's more space. Lay it down so it's simple, and just slowly add equal pressure to all sides. It takes a little bit of strength, especially if your clay's cold, but once you get, I'm going to stand up and really just go up for it here. Once you get your mold set up and you can pull it away, you literally have a negative of your positive. Now, when we say a negative, basically it's the opposite of what you're starting with. Now, the mixture that we're going to be teaching you a little later on is called
Banana!
Anyway. Just try to peel that. I dare you. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to be creating a thing called Rondo. Now, Rondo is a mixture of fiberglass and Bondo. And it's really awesome stuff. It's really light and fairly durable. And what you would do is you would take the Rondo, make a little bit, fill this void. To make it adhere to your clothing, you drop a small magnet in there, let the Rondo harden, and then you would take a small washer that reacts to the magnet and put it on your clothes. Now, what I have here is a finished product made of Rondo. It's fairly lightweight, and as you can tell, did you eat the master? Oh. Blame everything on the minion, it works. As you can see, they look almost identical except for this one's pink, this one's brass. All it takes is a little bit of paint and a little bit of ingenuity, and you've got a mastered replica. I'm Zero from COZ-HACKZ. I hope this was a good tutorial, and I hope this gets you started in making excellent cosplays. Keep hacking, everybody.